Touch your neighbor and say, just ask. We give God praise for our pastor, First Lady and First Lady Emerita. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful. Somebody shout faithful. Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. I want to leave you with this subject, head for the exit. Head for the exit. As we close out 2016, there are two very important truths in this passage of Scripture. First, temptation is ordinary. In other words, Paul wants for us to understand that the temptations we have faced in 2016 are not superhuman. They are not out of the ordinary, but they are common to the human condition and human experience. In other words, there is somebody who has already gone through what I went through. There's somebody who is going through what I went through, and there is somebody who will go through what I went through in 2016. So I should not think it strange, the fiery trial that has come upon me. And so Paul then, in this chapter, warns us against making the same sins and committing the same acts that the children of Israel did after God had delivered them out of bondage. And one of the 5 sins that he points out is the sin of murmuring. You see, 2016 has been a year of temptation to murmur, unmet expectations, disappointments, setbacks, heartaches. This year just seemed to be one of those years that you were ready to shake your fist at God and say, why are you allowing all of this pressure to come down on me? Why have you not answered my prayer? But Paul wants to warn us, don't be like the children of Israel and start murmuring against God, because your temptation is common to the human condition. But he also wants us to know that God is faithful. He is faithful because he will not allow us to be tempted above our ability. In other words, you can handle it. You see, because when the temptation comes, it first must be cleared by God. And he tailors it just so that it cannot overpower you, but challenge you to make sure your heart is right. Because whenever God allows you in the wilderness, it is preparation for the promised land. And the enemy understands that if he can get you to curse God and die instead of giving God praise in the wilderness, you will forfeit the blessing that's on the other side of the temptation. God is faithful because he will, with the temptation, also provide a way of escape. So on one end, before the temptation gets to me, God has already manipulated it so it can't overpower me. But on the other side, God slips in the back door and exit to make sure when I've reached the limits of my extremities, then there will be a light that appears at the other end of the trial. And so I've just stopped by here to let you know that tonight is the way we're going to escape, through praise. Because the enemy wanted us to murmur and complain and stay trapped in our tribulation. But God said, if you praise me, you can head for the exit. Because weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning time, and better is an end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And I wish I had about 500 people in the building on tonight who were ready to head for the exit. Because after all I've been through, I see that it's one more hour left before I step out of my temptation and into my promised land. And I dare you to give your neighbor a high five and tell them head for the exit. Don't you dare murmur and complain when at the end of this night you're about to enter into the land of Canaan, because the devil is a liar. I've come to celebrate my destination. I've come to put on my traveling shoes, and I've come to sing songs of Zion in the house of the Lord. Are there any praisers in the building who are ready to come out of their trial and enter into their triumph? to come out of their problem and enter into their promised land. Well, I dare you to open up your mouth and give God a Shabbat of praise.